So every other month I do a life admin day. I put together this big list of unfinished tasks that are weighing on my mind, so booking appointments, little things around the house. And I try to do as many of them as I can over a day or a weekend. I fill my days with all of the little things, stuff that's really easy to procrastinate and to put off. Without further ado, let's get into the life admin day. I started my life admin day by doing a brain dump of all of the little to-dos that were on my mind. If you struggle with brain dumping, like you can't think of things to write down, I do as well. I created a guided brain dump video on my channel for free that'll help you. So just play it in the background while you write out your brain dump. It'll make you think of all of the things. I also have an extended version on my app, the Intention app. I have a list and I've broken it up into context. So we've got things to do at the computer, got errands to run, we've got stuff to do at home, and we've got things to do on the phone. Categorizing your to-dos like this makes them feel a bit less overwhelming, but also you can batch them by category so that you can get through them quicker. I started out by booking appointments, making plans, and making phone calls. And because you can do them so quickly, it just makes you more motivated to do other tasks. So these are all my phone tasks, and I always find that anything related to like calling people, booking in appointments, texting people, they feel like really quick, easy wins. The first appointment I need to make is a cervical screening or a pap smear. This is your reminder to make an appointment for your pap smear if you are due. I went to the doctor's and she was like, are you up to date with your pap smear? And I was like, Then she checked in the system. I was not up to date. She did offer to do one on the spot, but I was like, I just feel like I need to be mentally prepared for a pap smear. So I'm gonna book one in.
Thank you for calling doctors.
Then I was just wanting to book in a pap smear. So thank you so much for your help.
You're welcome.
Done. She's booked. She's getting a pap smear cervical screening, even though she doesn't feel like it at all. Would rather never. Task 1 done. The next person to be contacted via phone is my dad. A while ago, he patched up this wall for us and he made it thicker. And as you can see, it hasn't been painted. So I'm messaging him and we're gonna ask him, what's going on? When's the painting happening? Paint my wall, please. Sent. My dad tends to leave me on red, so I have to keep an eye on it and make sure that I'm following up. As I was doing that, I just got a missed call from, we are looking into a financial planner. If you follow me on Instagram, I sort of talked about it on my Instagram stories. I'm hoping to get someone that can help us get our finances together a little bit. My immediate thought when I got their voicemail was like, I'll leave that till later. And then I realized that I'm in my life admin day mode. So I'm gonna call them back now. I'm gonna make it a not later thing. And if I have any questions, I can just give you a call.
Beautiful, that sounds great.
From there, I rescheduled my dentist appointment. I did call to get my car wrap removed. If you remember, it looks like this. And it really needs to be fixed, but he quoted me about $700 and half of that was for removing the wrap, and he did say you could remove the wrap yourself, so I'm gonna give that a try. Listen to a podcast, remove my car wrap. I texted my friend to book in a walk, and I canceled a subscription on my phone. So lots of really tiny tasks got done in a short period of time. Then I moved to errands. So something that I found really helpful to have on my phone is an errands list. So on my phone, I have this shortcut set up and it takes me to my Notion page with a list of all of the errands that I need to run. So if I'm ever out and about, I can just click on that little errands list button, and if there's anything on it that I can just get done like while I'm at the shops, I can tick it off. We actually took ourselves to the shops first, and I ticked off one of my life admin errands, grabbing these little fake nails from the chemist. I have a date afternoon with my niece. She desperately wants fake nails after seeing me have them, so I'm gonna do a little pamper day with her. I'm hoping these nails will fit, but we'll see. Then we went to Bunnings, our hardware store, and we picked up a whole bunch of random things that we'd been procrastinating getting for a while. So these are all the things that we got from Bunnings. Our hose head is broken. We needed this for Luke's side of the bed. We got a replacement cat door, and we got these because one of our hand towel rails fell off in our kitchen. The next task that I wanted to do was hide these cords because they just didn't look very good in our lounge room. I actually bought these cord hiders like months and months ago. They've been sitting in a corner unused, but today is the day that we do the things that we've been procrastinating. So I cut the cord hiders down with Luke's help, and I got them ready to stick down onto the ground. Right now this area feels messy, but I'm hoping that if we use the cord hiders, it'll make it look a little cleaner. So I really wanted to fit one of the cords into just one of the little holders, but the cord hiders were just a little too small. So now I've got 2 cord hiders, and I still think it looks better than having the 2 cords there. These were the biggest cord hiders that I could find at our hardware store. So it looks like this. I definitely think it's cleaner. So before I stick them down, I'm just gonna get a mop. I'm gonna clean up the floor underneath it. There's no instructions with it, but I'm assuming you have to do that. That's what you have to do with command strips. And then then I'm sticking them down. I ended up using 2 cord hiders. These are actually the biggest cord hiders that I could find. I do feel like there's probably a better solution, but these will work for now. I did it. Okay, that definitely looks better, even though it is the 2 things. Much rather that than 2 wires just like randomly. I mean, I know that I could like pull them back all the time just to organize them, but having this there is so much better. I love a tangible live admin task, like a task where you do something and then you can visibly see the results of it. Then I felt really demotivated, so I tried out a technique that I've been using when I feel like it's just harder to get things done than usual. So something that I've been doing when I'm feeling super demotivated is working in bursts, which is a concept I talked about in my video on how to do hard things. Basically what you do is, on YouTube you want to look up the 5-minute interval timer and then click on the first video that comes up. Ignore my smudgy screen. So I have a list of a bunch of things that I want to do on the computer. So for the first 5-minute interval, go through all of your tasks and break them down into the tiniest little sub-steps. Then with each 5-minute interval, you're just rotating through all of the tasks. I think it's helpful firstly because you're only committing to 5 minutes of each task. So it's like, yeah, I can totally do 5 minutes versus like an hour. Secondly, it gives you a ton of variety. So you're switching between tasks, which usually I would say is a bad thing. Task switching, people say is terrible. But when it's like little tasks like this, and when your motivation is low, who cares? It doesn't matter as long as it helps. And you're feeling kind of a sense of time pressure because you got this little 5-minute timer going on in the background. You're like, okay, I need to get as much done as I can because I only have this 5-minute interval. We're on to the first proper interval. Doing task bursts was probably the best thing that I could have done for myself. I made so much progress on tasks that I really didn't feel like doing at all. I fixed my hard drive backups. My hard drive backup service had been frozen for like a really long time because I've been procrastinating getting it set back up again. Even with my live admin days, I managed to procrastinate this task. So now I'm getting momentum and I'm actually feeling motivated. I'm gonna change my interval timer to a 10-minute timer because the 5-minute timers, I'm like, I just want to like finish out a task. Whereas in 10 minutes, you can do a little bit more. I finally took photos of a camera that I've been meaning to sell. I got it on Facebook Marketplace, which was a huge feat for me. It's a great camera, it just wasn't the right fit for me right now. I finally figured out where I could buy glasses from that were covered by my health insurance. I got back to my real estate agent. I organized a family photo shoot for a canvas as a present for mum. I ticked off almost all of my computer related to-dos. Then I went to sew this button back on properly to these pants. I've actually been wearing these pants like this with this button that is literally a second away from falling off. So I swore to myself that I would fix the button on my next life admin day. I used my little sewing kit, which is always so handy to have around, and I found a thread that actually matched really well and sewed the button back on properly. Okay, look at that. We did it. This button, so secure. Definitely not falling off anytime soon. So that afternoon, I had a coffee and Pilates day. It felt like genuine therapy. I came home just feeling like a new being. I decided to spend some time that night making a big batch of tofu scramble for my breakfast. I've started eating tofu scramble every morning, but it's also kind of a pain to make. It's kind of time consuming, so I'd rather just prep it up front. In saying that, I really did not feel like cooking. I generally don't. So I put on some Netflix crime show, and that was what kept me going. I made 2 of these big containers of tofu scramble to make my breakfast easy for the next week, just as a little favor for my future self, and then I took myself to bed. So I did keep on going with life admin for a little bit the next day because I felt like I had a few things that I really wanted to do. I started with this huge basket of laundry, folding and hanging up clothes. Having laundry put away always makes me feel so much more put together. Then I went ahead and I ordered a laminated print of these chore chart labels. So I created this chore chart a while ago, and all of these are little magnets, but over time we've added new chores and I put them like temporarily on these little strips, but I want to turn them into proper little magnetized things. But I want to turn them into proper like magnetized laminated bits. I picked up the laminate from Officeworks and I got out my magnet strips, a glue gun and my print, and I hot glued magnets onto the back of each little chore strip. I've had a few people ask me how I made this chore chart. It's so easy. Grab some magnet sheets, a whiteboard, and some laminated chore chart labels, and use a hot glue. I put the new labels on and my chore chart just looked a lot better. The next task was one that I really wanted to get done, which was putting a privacy film on the door that connects me and my sister as well as her little ones. We live together and we're separated by this glass door that's covered by a curtain. So I bought these ages ago. It's this rabbit goo window film. Kind of like this, how it gets all fuzzy there. Behind this curtain is a door to my sister's space. And sometimes I go in there and I forget to close the curtain and Luke will walk past like totally unaware, which is on me. But I want to make sure that even if the curtain doesn't get closed, you can't see into our space. So I want to put this on the door. So I started by cutting down the film completely so that it was the size of the door, or at least roughly. And then I cleaned down the door because it was really grubby. I applied the privacy film, and as you can see, the first try did not go super well. It's so bubbly, you guys. Bubbles everywhere. I actually redid the door a few times and it finally got to the point where it just didn't look as bad, and I decided to accept done over perfect. I'm honestly stunned that I even got it to this point. I don't know how well you can see them, but like there are bubbles. But I'm gonna let Luke have a crack at it tonight. I reckon he's gonna be able to like get all the bubbles out, but that is so much better than I actually thought I would get it to. If you liked this video, if it felt motivating, I have made a bunch of these videos in the past. You can chuck it on the background while you do your own life admin day, while you get your own stuff done. Sometimes it's just motivating to watch another person get their stuff done. It pushes you to get your own stuff done. So if you wanna keep watching, I have a playlist of all those videos on the screen. I appreciate you so very much, and I will see you soon.